What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Rugghead RC here. With all the speed challenges going on, everyone's looking to go faster, and I'm no different. So I've been searching the interwebs, reading the forums, running through the chats. I've been working hard with some top machinists and engineers to develop the ultimate Grom. And we found some secrets that nobody's talking about. So if you own a Grom, you're not going to want to miss this video. So everyone knows the lighter drivetrain enhances your efficiency and puts more power to the wheels. Well, today I'm going to show you the secret sauce to take your Grom to the next level. Today we'll be working on a Typhon Grom, but they're all pretty much the same. So you take the body off, you have 9 screws here. I've already removed them for the sake of time. You might need a puller tool, like I've bent this flathead screwdriver, help me get some leverage. You may have to wiggle the heat sink a little bit. When these are fresh out the factory, they're a tight fit, but once you get that off, you can remove your motor wires, slide out the motor mount. We'll be putting, this is a 22 tooth out of a Mojave, but we'll be putting a 26 tooth in a little later. Maybe I'll make a video on that. But right now, we're going to focus on this. This is the stock drive shaft I've reassembled for the sake of this video. And you may want to get yourself a clean shop towel to work on. This right here is tool steel. They used some rubberized metal shielded bearings, which are actually pretty good. They got a 59 tooth spur gear, which is made out of Chinesium, probably. But the drive shaft's pretty good. They come in a few different sizes. The granite is 145 millimeters. The Typhon's 177. The Mojave's 181 millimeters. And the NASCAR, I believe, is 203.5. So overall, it's a solid and durable, cost-effective design. But it's actually quite heavy. Coming in, here, let's get this at 0 here so you can see it. 0. This sucker comes in at 46.2 grams. So anyways, if we lighten the load, we can spin that motor faster and get a higher top speed. And let's get into this. The first thing you're going to do is take this apart. I always start on the small end. I just find it makes it easier in the end. If you got fingernails, you know, it makes it easier, but wearing gloves, I wear gloves. You slide off the rubber donut and then the bearing and then the sleeve, and then you take a pin or something and you take out the little dowel pin in there, and then you can slide off the end gear with the bearing. Now you're going to want to keep this stuff in order and set it to the side somewhere in a safe, clean thing. You don't want to lose anything. I've lost these pins so many times, man. They're a nightmare to try to pick those up off the carpet, man. So keep them in order and turn it around. Same kind of process here. Now, these Groms are generally the same. However, we'll be working with that's why I like to take you can just slide these all off and keep them in order here. I want to try to keep this on frame for you. But we'll be working with the Typhon today, which has this extra piece here, this like extender. Get that aside and pop the little pin out here. Try to take it out now. Now you can take the end gear off with the bearing. And that's the piece we'll need right there. That's the plastic. Now this is really hard to machine, I've found out. So they made it out of plastic. Anyway, and this right here is your hardened steel drive shaft. And there you go. It's easy. These Groms are super cool to work on. And that's all there is to it. Now, when we put this together, we're going to be using some different parts. If you've been running the granite Grom, you've had this option right here, which is the 145 millimeter aluminum drive shaft. It's actually quite cheap. It was only like $5 or $6. I don't know what it is now, but other than that, they haven't made an aluminum option that I know of for the Typhon or the Mojave. I know there's a few titanium options out there. I got one off of eBay. I know Rugghead RC makes a really nice titanium option for those big dogs out there if you can get your hands on one. Or you can try to develop your own, which is what we've been doing here, trying to create like a one-piece axle and bypass this piece here. But while I was figuring that out, I got a titanium drive shaft, which worked really well. However, this is just round bar here. It's not a hex, and all of that torque was getting transferred through the dowel pins there, which was kind of sketchy. And unfortunately, when I crashed my Typhon and exploded my bulkhead, I actually bent this thing, and if you could see, it's out of true, and I have significant oscillation in there. So I wanted to go to the next step, which is this right here. This is the Losi NASCAR drive shaft. They make an aluminum TLR drive shaft. I don't know if the camera will pick that up right there. They got their cool logo on it. And your option is just to chop that down like I did here. And this is what we'll be using. You can see I chopped this down to 177 and punched a new hole in it. And there you go. You got a TLR aluminum drive shaft for your Typhon. But you can cut this to any size. You could cut this to the Mojave, or you could cut it to the granite or whatever. But for this video, we're focusing on the Typhon. So we're going to start here. Let's see. I kind of pinch it off in the middle. And then we're going to put the rubber donut on. The little one. Oops. This one. And then we'll be using, for this video, the Blue Seal ceramics by Fast Eddy Bearings. If you didn't know, ceramics is lighter than steel. And then we'll be using this. This is a 59 tooth aluminum spur gear right here by Exotech. Got another one. It's considerably lighter, and I think it'll hold up. So we'll see how it goes. But I want to get this lined up with the logo, just because I'm kind of picky like that. So we'll go this way. Now slide that on, and then what's next? Then the spacer. Now when you put this on, you want to make sure the holes line up, right? And then, oh, messed up. Then you put on the big donut, the pin retainer, and then you line up your holes. Where'd my hole go? There it is. And then you can put on the end gear here. And you'll slide that up over so the holes line up. Now we'll stop here because, fun fact, the TLR holes are, in fact, slightly bigger than the stock holes. So although the stock pins fit very nicely in the steel drive shaft, they kind of wiggle around in the aluminum drive shaft. So I ended up getting these alloy dowel pins, and they actually fit perfect in there. They're snug as a bug in a rug in there, if you see that. So less vibration, whatever. But we went one step further. I was going through all my pins. Shout out to Test Driver RC for shooting me these pins right here. They were a little big, but I was thinking of press fitting them in there like dog bones. So we got these right here, and these are nylon, and they're the exact size. And oops, spilled them right there, but these guys are the exact perfect size, and they weigh nothing. And since this is a hex, all the load bearing is on the hex. Come on, get in there. There you go. It doesn't do anything except kind of absorb the vibration there. So you're saving a few micrograms. I know it seems insignificant, but you got to remember, man, this thing's spinning 50,000 RPMs, and this all adds up. Okay, so there you go. Look at that, beautiful. The little logos right there. Nice. And then we can do the small end. Where is this? We start with the little donut, and then blue bearing, and then the spacer, and then we can put the blue bearing on the end gear, and then careful to line up the holes. There you go. And you can put the spacer on there. But all you need to do is take, uh-oh, I already had one cut. Oh, there it is. These little tiny things. And these are cheap as dirt too, by the way. But you just take some like fingernail clippers and clip them to size. I used my little caliper to make sure. This is so hard with gloves on. There we go. There we go. And they fit perfectly in there, so they don't just slide out like the metal ones do. They're real snug, and there you go. It's that easy right there. There's your hot rod drive shaft right there. Ceramic bearings, the TLR aluminum drive shaft. You got the aluminum spur gear, and you got the nylon pins. And check this out, guys. This is just blow your mind right here. Let's get that out of the reflection. Here you go. Right? Watch. So we saved 20 grams right there, guys. And that might not seem like a big deal. You got to understand that the Grom only weighs 800 grams. So we actually saved 2.5%, 2.5% of the car's total weight goes into that beefy drivetrain. And that's a 43% weight reduction in your drivetrain and the centrifugal forces vibrating there. So you shaved it all off. Your motor should be able to accelerate, and your car should be substantially quicker and spin to a higher potential. But will this handle the abuse? I don't know. So far, the granite's held up great, and I beat the snot out of that thing. But these things are so light, it's ridiculous. So will it hold up to a castle system? Tell me what you think in the comments. I don't know yet, but I suspect we'll eventually find out. So subscribe so you don't miss a thing. I hope you found this helpful, and hit that like button if you like what you saw. Check out my channel for more epic Grom action. And you know, I love these things right here. I think they are a marvel of engineering. And if you made it this far in the video, you know, I love you too. See you next time. Peace.